The Israeli army has launched what it says is a wide-scale wave of overnight airstrikes on Iran. Explosions have been reported in the capital, Tehran. Strikes are also hitting areas nearby. The UN's refugee agency says more than 3 million people in Iran have been displaced by the ongoing war. Many have fled Tehran and other major cities to areas in the north. All right, let's get more now from Tohid Asadi, who joins us live from Tehran. Tohid, so it's been another day of heavy bombardment on Iran. What have you been hearing on all this from Iranian officials?
Another day, 14th day, I can say, of the continuation of the airstrikes by the Americans and Israelis targeting different places across the capital, in the southern parts of the capital in particular, and of course in other cities such as Kashan, Isfahan, Qom, Arak, or located in the southern parts of the Iranian capital in different provinces. And that is the indicative of the very continued wave of the strikes, the airstrikes targeting different places across the country. Meanwhile, we've got the IRGC Revolutionary Guards coming out with a statement about their retaliatory strikes going on, and they're talking about the wave 44 of their retaliatory strikes targeting the Israeli territories. And every time they're saying that they are using the most advanced weaponry to target these territories, and they're also saying that they're going to continue as long as it is needed, and as long as the airstrikes by the Americans and Israelis continue. All in all, we are dealing with a very complicated, delicate situation, while that is the human cost that also should be taken into consideration. We know that many people, more than 1,400, have lost their lives, with many residential areas being targeted. Now they are saying that drone attacks are reported in the capital targeting security checkpoints and besieged militia. This is the report that we had from 2 days ago from Fars News Agency, and also we heard the sounds of the activation of the air defense system and also the activities related to the drones across the capital overhead here in Tehran. This is also not the entire part of the story. There is another important aspect which is related to the environmental damage, which is critically important. The other day, we've got the attack on the oil depots, oil facilities in the capital, as a result of which still we can see thick columns of black smoke drifting through the air after several days, since these are just the oil depots, and it's not really easy to extinguish the fire there. So we are seeing this air pollution, and of course experts here are warning that there is a possibility of water and soil contamination, adding another further layer of complexity for people who have decided to leave, to stay in the city. As you mentioned, a considerable proportion of the Tehran residents have decided to evacuate the city since the initiation of these airstrikes. But still, we know that Tehran province is housed to over 14 million people, and it's not really feasible, it's not really possible to talk about the evacuation of the entire city. And people are living, part of the population is living inside the city. They have decided to stay and weather the storm in this tough situation. And of course, they are running different risks, you know, when it comes to schools, when it comes to hospitals. They have been also impacted across the city, and of course beyond that in different cities in the Iranian territory. You know that we know basically more than 200 cities so far have been the scene of the Israeli and American strikes, and that is putting another excessive pressure upon the very ordinary citizens. While based on the statements that we hear from both sides, the point right now is not really close to any de-escalation. Iranian Supreme Leader talked about retaliation and the continuation of the war, and then from the Washington, from the Tel Aviv, we hear almost the same statements about the possibility of further continuation of this escalation.
All right, that's Tohid Asadi joining us live from Tehran. Thanks so much, Tohid.